Howdy, it's Rob from Crotch Rocket TV. I'm here with the great Shawn Higbee, probably the hardest working guy in motorsports racing. Unbelievable the time and energy Shawn puts into his skills. And we're here at Willow Springs, just having finished the weekend of racing. It was a tense weekend for sure. And what do you think, Shawn? How did you feel about it?
Well, it's been an interesting week. I mean, we started out earlier this week working at Glendale Harley-Davidson. We're trying to get this. It was originally a bike that they had taken out to the Salt Flats.
Right.
And, it had a modified motor and a little extra horsepower, and so Ernie Snare had the idea to, well, maybe we should take this thing to the road course and see what we can do on it. And so Don and I got together at the shop and transformed it over to a road race bike, and we got it all together just in time, and got ourselves out here to Willow Springs. And but it was a little bit scary as we were building the bike. We were still searching for sponsorship funds to get here, and so I was really happy that thankful that people on Bad Web and yourself for putting up Crotch Rocket TV, went up there and put the sponsorship challenge out there, and everyone responded, and I greatly appreciate that.
Well, that's no problem at all. It was our pleasure, and hopefully we can do it some more. And so there were a lot of things that you tried on this bike. You know, there was the Ram Air. You want to talk about that a little bit? How'd that work?
Sure. So yeah, it has a more powerful engine, but we wanted to try and squeeze as much performance as we could out of it. So I had this Ram Air system inlet that had been used on the other XP bikes, and so Don worked on it and was able to and fit it up to the 1125R airbox, and yeah, I think I mean it's proven before it worked on the XPs, so we figured it would work just as well on the 1125.
And you were working on the handling quite a bit.
Yeah, it's even though we showed up on Saturday and we did some testing prior to the race, we simply just ran out of time. We didn't have enough time to try everything we wanted to. Yeah. We were worked on the mapping, tuning the EFI, and getting the throttle response dialed in, and so that was a continuous improvement all through the weekend, and but that was just part of it. The other part of the package was the chassis, and we had to set up the preload and the dampening and ride heights, and we really struggled this weekend. In the formula race, we made a big gamble. We threw a new shock on the rear with a different ride height, and had no time on it. We just went straight into the race, but we were looking for some better lap times and thought it was worth trying something. We weren't going to go fast enough, so we were trying something new. And unfortunately, in the first lap going through turn 8, I crashed 4 times in one corner. I just didn't hit the ground. The front end just would not stick. The crosswind was making it worse, but we had it so tall in the rear, it had not enough trail to go through there with the wind, and the front end took off, turned in about half lock, and I gathered up the throttle and spun the rear up and kept the thing from losing the front entirely. But the rear could come around too much, and then I'd have to get out of the throttle. As soon as I back off the throttle a bit, the front would start tucking again, and it must have looked like I was riding a bucking bull, because the thing was just swapping ends. Front would lose the front, spin the rear, lose the front, spin the rear, and I did that 4 times. And
you're going how fast?
Well, I mean, you just roll out for a bit going in there, so you're top gear, 150 plus miles per hour.
I don't know how. I mean, I'd be wet from the waist down, and that would be it for me. I think if it's anything like that for me, I don't know how you do that.
Well, I mean, normally it's in a weekend I usually lose the front a good 1 or 2 times and find the limits of the bike, and I just stay just slightly below that, but. This caught me off guard, and I've never had to save it that many times in a single corner there, so I was very thankful that that could have ended really bad. That's such a high-speed corner. I'm just glad to be walking.
Well, I mean, that's a testament to your skills, certainly. Right. So how do you feel about going forward with this bike? You think you got a good start on it, or?
Yeah, I mean, they've proven that they could get horsepower out of the bike. I mean, on the dyno we saw 158. It had a good torque curve, so it should be competitive and fast out here. We just we're just off on both the chassis and the tuning a bit.
Yeah. Well, that's why there's another race next month, I guess.
Yep. Yeah, the streets will be better for the bike. I think, you know, Toy and those guys heard rumors of approaching 200 horsepower here, so
Jeez.
we it won 160, even though that's quite a bit more than a stock bike. Didn't really stack up too well on the straights, but at the streets, it's a shorter course. I think if we can come back with a 160 horsepower that's sorted, chassis and engine-wise, we'll be a force.
Have a good shot.
We'll be a force there.
Yeah, that's an impressive bike, that BMW, no question about it. Well, listen, I don't want to take any more of your time. Thank you so much for the privilege of being out here with you. I really appreciate it. And I just want to say again, thanks to everybody at Bad Weather, all you guys who chipped in and, you know, threw money in the hat. What a great bunch of guys to get Shawn out here, and I just wish you could all have been here to see how hard he works and how dedicated he is to the sport, and what a great time we had. So thank you all very much.
Yes, I'd like to say also thank you very much. We wouldn't have been out here if it wasn't for everyone's support, and you thank the other sponsors of the dealerships, Glendale, Harley-Davidson, Bartels has been a long-time sponsor, and Antelope Valley, Water Wellness. It's you know, I couldn't be out here without everyone's help. So
well, you certainly deserve it.
Thank you.
All right. See you next month.
Next month.
All right. Bye-bye. See you later.